All right.
Hello, everybody. It is August the 11th, 2019, the aftermath of the Summerfest, the SummerSlam, the big Blue Star pay-per-view that's behind me. Hello, I am veteran columnist Doug Lackey and host of Wrestleview Weekly, which is on this same channel every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, where we review all the stuff, talk about the headlines, and try to successfully predict everything that happened this weekend. If you're in the chat room, say hi right now. If you don't, you can just stay silent. Hello, Mashun. Hello, Nafis Sadat. Hello, Lewis. Lewis, you sexy beast, you. Hello, Gresh. Hello, Jamel. Hello. Hey, Daniel. Anyone else in there? Say hi now. You haven't done it yet. Oh, hi, Bobby. Where the heck did you come from? Kelowna. You're a new one. Hello, Kelowna. Anyone else who's new, better say yourself now, because I want to make you famous. Too late. Can't do it now. Along with me, well, Stephen Butler. Okay, hi. All right, that's enough of that. All right, also, alongside with me here on the show is the guy who recapped the show on the Wrestleview.com. He is the co-host of the Post-Raw Recap. That is on this channel with his very beautiful and very pregnant wife, Victoria. That is Michael Tedesco. Mikey, how are you?
I'm doing good, Doug. I'm doing really good, actually, because I went into tonight thinking I was going to still be recapping at this point right now.
Yeah.
And I've, in fact, been recap-free for well over a half hour. Yeah. That's amazing.
Doesn't it feel grand?
Oh, it does. It really does. Because, you know, like that's been the big knock on the pay-per-views lately, is that, or for the last year or so, is that they've been going way too long. They're over 3 hours. They're pushing 4 hours on B pay-per-views. Like, it's like, oh my God, like you shouldn't be sitting there. You shouldn't be sitting there watching like a WrestleMania or an Extreme Rules event. Just be like, when is this thing going to end? Even if it's a good show, you're still like, okay, I'm wrestled out now.
Yeah.
Tonight, I absolutely was not wrestled out at all. It was the perfect time. 3.5 hours. I'm a happy camper tonight. I'm psyched to be talking to you right now.
Oh, I am super psyched because, the whole time, I think it was when we were hitting the Kofi Orton match, and I looked at the clock. It was 9:30.
Yeah.
It was approaching 9:30. I was like, we might be looking at a 10:30 end time here. We only got 2 more to go. This is looking pretty good. And then suddenly,
very promising.
Yeah, then Lesnar Rollins ends. We've got still 2-3 minutes to burn. I'm sitting there going like, is something else going to happen? Nope. 10:30 on the dot, off air. Oh.
I was actually waiting for them to send like Roman Reigns out and was like, oh, we're going to do Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan because you just figured it out. I'm like, what are they going to throw at us?
Yeah, seriously.
But no, perfect. There's actually like so much about this event that like I really want to talk about, because on Monday, Victoria and I were talking about, and yeah, there were still some issues with stories, and we'll get to that like as we talk about the matches through this show tonight.
Yeah.
But there were like some things that were being pushed on Raw that you were like, okay, this is definitely going to be revealed at SummerSlam. They're going to do a match, and it's like this story had no time to build. They actually took matches off the card leading into the show tonight to get us to this point, this 3.5 hour point, so we can kind of let stories build. We don't have to, we don't have to give Goldberg and every single storyline, coming through right now. We can hold back on some and do them later. They actually, for once, I think like this was like really, really next level smart booking. So I'm excited to talk about the show.
Oh yeah. Oh, same here. In fact, talking about the show, what all happened on this show, Mikey? What is the quick recaps? There were matches and things.
There were matches and things, and because this was a bigger show, I actually recapped the kickoff show. If anybody wants to go read that recap, if you didn't know about it, I'm just letting you know because I actually did it. But on the main show, I'm only going to do the main show. Yeah. Becky Lynch defeated Natalya in a submission match. There was a great line in this match. Even though Natalya I think the Hearts are from Montreal, right, Doug?
I believe so. Yes.
But they're in Toronto, which is in Ontario. Montreal's in Quebec. Like Corey Graves, while Natalya's coming out, he's like, you can't claim an entire country as your hometown. He goes, I can't go to California and say that I have an advantage because I grew up in Pennsylvania. That was an amazing line. It was great. Becky Lynch beats Natalya in a submission match to retain the Raw Women's Championship. So Becky Lynch is now Canada's newest hero. Goldberg, in the most fun match of the entire evening next to the Fiend match, killed Dolph Ziggler and then went back for more. And it was just fun upon fun piled on top of fun piled on top of fun. I loved every second of this. AJ Styles defeated Ricochet to retain the United States Championship. Bayley defeated Ember Moon to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship. Kevin Owens defeated Shane McMahon to keep his job in WWE. Charlotte Flair defeated Trish Stratus via submission with the figure 8 in a very, very decent match. Way overachieved what I thought it was going to be. Kofi Kingston versus Randy Orton went to a double countout. So Kingston retains the WWE Championship.
Oh, that sucks.
I know. And he is also still looking for that one signature moment as champion other than actually winning the title. Yes. The Fiend, Bray Wyatt, defeated Finn Balor. And Seth Rollins defeated Brock Lesnar in the surprise of the year to win the WWE Universal Championship.
Yeah.
Wow. A lot of stuff.
You know what? Let's just go ahead and start there. Okay. Let's just start right off the bat. I know normally we'll sit here and we'll talk about, what did we like about the show because everyone is bitching about the show. But this came out of nowhere. Okay, even myself included. I know everyone's probably wanting to know, well, everyone being only myself and a handful of people in the chat room. No one saw this coming, especially with me and my predictions. In fact, I will fill you in on the predictions right now. 15 matches of mine were predicted NXT TakeOver and this year's SummerSlam. Of those 15, we went a collective 10-5. 3-2 on the TakeOver. 7-3 on the SummerSlam. Only 2 of 8 locks were wrong. So everyone tune in to Wrestleview Weekly. Tequila by the double shot, and we will be doing a shot. We will be drinking this entire mini bottle of Avian Silver tequila because it's been a while since I've had tequila, and I do not want to dip into that atrocious Luna Azul. So everyone,
God, When I watch you do that, I laugh and I also cringe and I feel terrible for you. And for whatever reason, it also makes me really happy. I'm a terrible person.
No, I know.
Ooh, that Luna Azul is nasty.
Ugh, it's disgusting. But of the 5 that we got wrong, one of them was this Brock Lesnar match. And honestly, no one saw this coming. It was a pleasant surprise, I would think. But I guess my question for this is, and I don't mean to tell you that the box of Lucky Charms has no marshmallows in it, but was this plausible? I mean, was it really like all the crap that Seth Rollins went to for the past 2 weeks? I understand it's pro wrestling. Logic. Duh. I get it. But
they don't go hand in hand.
They don't go hand in hand. And so, do you really think anyone would be calling BS on this? I mean, do you think anyone's going to be looking at this going, really? This is how we're going to do it?
You know what? Anybody who calls BS on that and enjoyed Johnny Gargano versus Adam Cole last night, has to stop watching the product because you know nothing.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts on that crap too, but
I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoyed NXT Takeover last night. The finisher kickouts and all that stuff. It's just par for the course now. I'm almost to the point of just completely just accepting it, because if you don't accept it, it's just like, you're literally just gonna be pushing against a wall. It's there's just no purpose to it. So it's either kind of just embrace the craziness or just be miserable watching it. And that's kind of that's kind of where I'm at now with WWE. Like, I know everybody caught my rant when they introduced the WWE 24/7 Championship, which I've said plenty of times, many times on the Post Raw show, and I'll say it right here on Wrestleview Live as well, that I was totally wrong. The WWE 24/7 Championship is a complete asset to the show. I still stand by what I said, that they have too many titles, and that definitely waters things down. But I mean, like I'm accepting it, because I'd be crazy sitting there going like, God damn, this is so miserable. And I'd just be miserable. Like, I don't want to be miserable watching wrestling. So I'm just going to just start to embrace these things. So yeah, when I was watching this Rollins thing, when he was fucking limping to the ring on Monday, and now he and that was from a beating 7 days ago.
Yeah.
And then he gets beat even worse, basically, or at least enough to exacerbate those injuries again. Mm-hmm. And then 6 days later, he comes out and he's like, oh, he's flipping through German suplex. It's like, whatever. It's pro wrestling 2019. That's what it is, man. And I'm not gonna be fucking miserable about it anymore.
No, same here. I mean, I'm only trying to play like, the horrible devil's advocate, because my opinion of it is it's professional wrestling. Okay, logic is thrown out the window in professional wrestling. The law and police order and state politics are thrown out in professional wrestling. Why did someone get thrown in jail in Boston, but they weren't thrown in jail over in Charlotte? And also everyone is fucking Wolverine in professional wrestling. Okay, right. Stuff heals very, very quickly. Which is why if you try doing this in your backyard, you're not going to be feeling like this 6 days from now. So don't...
Unless you're superhuman, whoop whoop.
Yeah, whoop whoop. So no, stop it. No.
It's for gigolos and gigolettes.
Oh God.
Just saying.
Well, yeah, I stay away from that. I'm a better human being for not dabbling into it. Anytime I just see pale white legs and something sitting on a table, I know not to press play. Okay.
There's something about somebody doing self-harm that makes me so happy.
I will not, unless I see it say the final one, and it be because it was horribly done.
Because it went horribly wrong. It is his final one.
Yeah, then I will go ahead. But Jamel Roy's in the chat room, and Nafis is in there, and they're all basically saying that the problem right now with, if there is one with the Universal title, is it seems to be the same people going with the title, being Lesnar, being Rollins, being Roman Reigns. But the thing, and how much of a time frame are we looking at here? I'm not trying to doubt these guys, put these guys' opinions down and saying, well, it ain't going to be 5 or 6 in the span of the 9 months to a year that we're talking about here. Because if you do that, then, oh my gosh, are we actually going to talk about legitimacies of a prop here?
Right. Well, also don't forget, in those 9 months that we might be talking about, Lesnar held the title for over 500 days.
Yeah. And
it was always like, when he held that title for that long, it was always going to be Roman Reigns. So of course Roman Reigns would go for it. The title really only started coming back on Raw after WrestleMania this year. So it was on for 3 months. Then Lesnar won at Extreme Rules, and we didn't see it again until like last week or 2 weeks ago or whatever. Mm-hmm. There's just not a lot of time to like build up new championship contenders. But now that it's there, I mean, you can't forget Baron Corbin was also a championship contender a few weeks ago. It's like it's not like they're not, but it's like, who do you really want to see go after it? Do you really like Baron Corbin? Did that really work out that well?
Well,
he has great heat. He definitely has great heat, but is it that there's always that question, is it that right kind of heat where it's like, are people getting so turned off by this they're just going to turn off the television, just not even pay attention, or do they actually hate this guy so much they want to pay to see him get his ass kicked?
Right. And the other thing too is the example I'm going to give is WrestleMania for this year, is when you've crowned a brand new champion, whether it be Rollins or more to the point, crown Kofi Kingston. The first thing you want to do is not give them a worthy challenger. And when I mean worthy challenger, I'm talking about on the levels of a Brock Lesnar right off the bat.
Or Kofi with Randy Orton tonight.
Right. You want to Give them an opponent that's worthy enough to build them up and strengthen them up as a champion, while at the same time the opponent that you give them seems legitimate enough to have this shot in the first place.
Right.
Whether you have
every good champion needs to have the notches on the belt.
Yes.
Of people that were taken down. You need a couple notches.
Daniel bringing it up in the chat. Seth Rollins' first opponent to defend, AJ Styles.
Right.
Okay. We'll put it over there with Kofi Kingston. I'm trying to remember with him. He had a rematch, wasn't it? He did have
Raw.
A rematch.
Yeah, with Daniel Bryan on Raw, which they hot-shotted like 3 months of angles to do that, which was crazy.
Oh, yeah. There's no...
But it worked out for Daniel.
Everything worked out fine for Daniel. Then, Kofi has Dolph Ziggler. He had Kevin Owens before that. And again, with Seth Rollins, it was AJ Styles, then led up to Baron Corbin. These are all legitimate opponents that they went against that were serving dual purposes. Okay, is now the time to where they're given an opponent that, oh my gods, are they really going to do it and it not be a Bork laser? Well, you brought it up, and we'll go ahead and talk about it. Kofi Kingston, Randy Orton.
Yes.
Got to talk about this match.
Well,
okay.
You know what? You go first. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good. I have been so iffy about the Kofi Kingston run. And
Me too.
And it's really just been from, we know what he's been for the past 10 or 11 years, and it's not a knock on him as a performer. It's not a knock on his talent. It's not a knock on anything. It's just what we were accustomed to seeing of him. We are not used to seeing him in this spot because, honestly, he has never, ever, ever, ever been in it. And so it's incredibly difficult to take this run seriously.
I agree.
I think now we can take this seriously because this was a fantastic storyline and fantastic build to this match. And it showed in the match. It showed in the match.
Yeah. Number one, what really did it for me was, and my hat is eternally off. In fact, it's so off that I'm not even wearing it right now, to the WWE production crew, because that video package, took me through the whole entire story. I don't watch SmackDown all the time, but I got taken through the story. And by the end of this 3-minute package about Kofi Kingston and how Randy Orton held him down, and Orton's like, yeah, I held him down because I thought he was below my level and he stunk and this and that. I was so into this thing going in. I could see the entire thing unfolding. I'm still waiting for him to have that signature moment as champion. And in fact, I think the problem, and you're totally right. He did look like a champion tonight, taking Randy Orton out and looking vicious against him and having Orton almost kind of retreating from him is a great look because Orton is a 14-time champion. Kofi's still in his very first reign ever. I liken the early part of this title reign, which is probably why it hasn't had any traction to. It's kind of like when think of somebody like Rusev who goes through an undefeated streak for a year and then he loses for the first time and then he just can't win ever again. It's how did he do how did he win all this time and then all of a sudden he takes one loss and now he's a perennial loser. I'm not saying that Rusev was a perennial loser. I'm just saying just for an example, it's well, he's losing to to this guy on Raw and this guy on SmackDown, this and that, it just doesn't make any sense. The whole build to Kofi Kingston was the 11 years, you've been here 11 years, you've been busting your butt. And then he gets the championship and he's oh, now I'm a champion. Now,
I will remind you, and I will remind you that I won this championship every single week that I'm on SmackDown for the next 4 months.
Right.
Reminding you.
They got away from actually building him up into a championship, into an actual title holder. Instead, he's just this guy that's hey, I'm still so lucky to be holding this title. It's how are you supposed to take somebody seriously when they're oh, isn't this great that I won this title? Positivity. It's can we have a little meat and potatoes to this thing now? Tonight was the meat and potatoes.
Yeah, we've had enough feels. Okay, it's right. This feels as great as an appetizer. Okay, where is our steak? All right. I'm not saying this was a fantastic porterhouse, but it was darn. I I really like how, again, this story's still going to progress. We have no resolution here. It's going to be, it ended on a double count out. Everyone's screaming BS. Everyone's hating it because they haven't got a finish. Well, tough shit. Okay.
Well, yeah, it's like Vince said after the Royal Rumble in Philadelphia, they were just upset that Santa Claus didn't come tonight.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
everything that you got so much on this show, you're gonna hang your hat on that.
Yeah. Yeah. But what we got from this was more progression into this, with the Randy Orton character saying, "Yeah, you're right. I've been holding you down, stupid." But now he starts taunting his family who's there at ringside. We only thought we would get Samoa Joe doing this. But what's great is that, number one, Randy Orton just staring at them,
Right.
and Kofi lashing out, and it resulting in a double count out, I think was a lot better than something that could have been completely worse, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
but you know what? This is another one of those things where, okay, what I was talking about on Raw with Victoria, what we were saying was like, I just feel like so many of these matches on SummerSlam didn't really get the proper time for the story to be told to allow it to breathe.
not at all. Oh, no, you're right on that one.
And like, this is one of those ones that definitely, with all the equity they have in this, basically, a decade long, grievance that has some real life undertones to it.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a lot of it's probably like exaggerated and stuff like that, but there's probably some actual, truth in the story that, just having one match at SummerSlam and having Kingston beat him decisively, it wouldn't do anybody any favors.
No.
This is the one that you want to stretch out. This is the one that goes to Clash of Champions and finishes up in Hell in a Cell because he taunted his family.
Right.
This is the one that does that.
Yes.
You have that trilogy of matches that, Kofi, Kingston, they go to a double count out. Maybe Orton beats him by disqualification, or Kingston loses by whatever happens at Clash of Champions, and then you have to have the final decisive victory in Hell in a Cell, make him a champion, or take it away from him.
Either one.
But this is the one you let breathe. Like I felt like there's a couple stories on the show tonight that didn't get to breathe, and this was one of them. And I'm actually kind of glad in hindsight that they did this.
Yeah, I think we're looking with Orton, Kingston, we're looking at probably a good 2 to 3 month slog with this one. This is going to be, I love long drawn out programs, only because it's just, like you said, you give it time to breathe, but also you get much more, and I can't believe I'm saying this with this writing staff and how much faith we have in them, but you're given a lot more creative freedom you have the space to do what you can to tell us this compelling story, okay? Step one's been done. We've got the background of these two. We got 10 years worth of animosity between these two to fall back on. Step two, Randy Orton is annoyed by his obnoxious little boy. Kofi don't like that. And so they're now, Kofi's angry at that. And Orton's like, well, your kid's weird. So we're going to get that. And then finally, maybe at the head, maybe going into Hell in a Cell, we get, all right, the end all. We see how sick Randy Orton is. And then we realize, oh, wait a minute, Kofi can be just as sick as Randy Orton, which we got glimpses of in this match tonight, where Kingston showed a level of aggression that, when you keep reminding us of what happened 10 years ago, was not seen at all 10 years ago. So lots of stuff can come down with this program. I'm trying not to set the bar so high. I've only got so much faith in this writing staff, but I have much more faith in the guys involved in this.
Oh, yeah.
They can tell a way better story, I think, than the bullet points from a writing staff could give.
Oh, hell, I wish they would. I wish they would give bullet points instead of full scripts. That would be the first change I would make. But those changes may be coming, maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. But it's going to be good. I actually have faith this is actually going to wind up being a pretty damn good storyline.
Mm-hmm. That
So,
I want to dip before we probably get. Well, actually, I was about to talk about what happened in between those two matches, but I kind of want to save that for trailing on.
oh no. Yeah, no. Yeah,
Um,
that's the coup de grace.
that's a yeah. Let me see. We were talking about these stories, these programs and stories that not get enough time to breathe. They were not.
Oh
And when
yeah.
I guess the better way of saying it is they didn't have enough time to tell them because what was this, a 3-week or 4-week build for SummerSlam? I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one of the matches that actually should have been built enormously for the last few months. I'm just going to dip in and just say I want to talk about Charlotte Flair and Trish Stratus.
Sure.
Now, this match was great. It wildly overachieved. I thought Trish Stratus looked great. She took a lot of chances in this match. And, she was talking all about, this is my swan song. This is my final match, because initially when she retired in 2006, she had her final match in that arena. And then she started coming back for one-offs. And it's like, well, you know what? They're going to have SummerSlam there. I have a chance to contribute and give back and give Charlotte Flair the rub, even though she's been rubbed so much she really doesn't need much more rubbing. She's good enough as she is.
Yeah.
But she has a chance to contribute and also have her final farewell one more time in HD this time.
Oh yeah.
But a 3-week build for Trish Stratus versus Charlotte Flair. This match, and it almost seems like they rushed it because Trish wanted to just say, like, I want to have my last match in Toronto. It's almost like well, our window of opportunity is small here. But if they were serious about, like, Charlotte wanting to prove that she's the best of all the divas and women forever and ever, she should have been dropping hints about being the queen of all eras back at Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
And just been going on and on about it. Maybe Mickie James gets one last big run, and it's Charlotte Flair versus Mickie James at a pay-per-view, and then it's like Charlotte Flair versus Beth Phoenix, and just like all these women that you have floating around that can go, have Charlotte Flair take them out, and then you save Trish for SummerSlam to finally prove once and for all who is the best woman ever in WWE.
Yeah. Yeah.
3 weeks for this, and Trish is doing interviews saying, "Oh, our match has undertones of The Rock and Hulk Hogan." I'm like, no.
No.
It's the story's just not there yet. Even Rock Hogan at least had a month. They had 3 weeks.
Well, at least one of those two showed up on television for a whole month prior to the build of this pay-per-view. Charlotte Flair had not been on TV for about a month. I mean, about 3 weeks. She was approaching 3 weeks. She was on the cusp of hitting my milk carton. Okay.
Right. And during all that time, she should have been talking about this stuff that would have led to Trish. Anything.
Yeah, she could have been doing, pre-taped monologues on television talking about how great she is. I mean, at least the bare minimum she could have been doing is after losing at pay-per-view, I believe losing at Extreme Rules is what it was, she could have been just, throwing out little monologues here and there, taped segments, showing her best of and clip shows of how great she is. Bring up the fact that she, out of that loss, has only lost on pay-per-view 3 or 4 times ever since being on the main roster, and that is being on nearly every single pay-per-view. There is stuff that she could have done to build up herself at bare minimum to warrant this match. Now,
right. I mean, if I'm sorry to cut you, but if they can do vignettes every week with Shelton Benjamin going like this, they definitely could have fit Charlotte Flair in there somewhere.
Oh, yes. Yeah. The length of time that we had Aleister Black locked in a closet asking for people to find their coat and him, we could have had Charlotte Flair saying how awesome she is. Because, well, yeah, that's what she's really good at. Now, I'm totally there with you to where, like, on a random episode of SmackDown, have a match against Beth Phoenix. Or Beth Phoenix is on commentary and she slaps her in the face. Or, you have Molly Holly sitting at ringside with her family and Charlotte comes out and slaps her in the face. You have, doesn't have to wrestle them, just all of the Hall of Famers out there and she just slaps them. And then comes out one day saying, I am the best. Everyone's at ringside. No one is in here in the ring with me to challenge me. And then suddenly, out comes Trish. So that's how I would have built it. But of course, I don't work in WWE Creative. I am here telling you what I would do. And I'm sure I'm not the only one, because every other podcast is probably telling you why they're dum-dums. Okay?
Right.
But I'm going to go one further on a match and a program that was confusing as hell to try to get into at all, okay? And that was one of the other women's matches of Bayley and Ember Moon.
Oh, man.
Oh, boy. Let's see. I'm going to go and just...
it's like
boy.
This match was so forgettable and regrettable. I'm actually having to go through my recap to see what I thought of it at the time, because I have to form my opinion again, because I completely I just put it out of my mind because it was so blah. And that's what I put. Really just a blah match.
The build for this match was so confusing to me. Because
I hate these type of builds.
Throughout the television show, on SmackDown and a couple on Raw, we had Ember or Bayley getting one up on each other, but no one really coming up on top to know who the person is that we're supposed to be rooting for or feeling bad for, who to be sympathetic for, who to boo. The same can be said for Lynch Natalya. That one is almost as bad, but this one is way worse.
Yeah,
okay?
At least Lynch and Natalya, at least they have they both kind of played tweener at least, but these were just two oh, I'm gonna give you a shot because you've been here a while and you haven't done dick. It's oh great, I can't wait to see that match.
It just kind of leads me back to where I kind of feel I try not to be the person who sounds like they're disappointed that the WWE doesn't listen to me, but okay, when Bayley was introduced, Superstar Shakeup, taking you all the way back to the Superstar Shakeup for SmackDown.
She
all right. And Ember Moon was the first female introduced as part of this shakeup coming over from Raw. And I believe in the ring at the time was Becky Lynch. She comes out, says her thing, but the next girl to come out is Bayley, who gets a way bigger pop and way bigger everything than Ember Moon. And I think some others came out, but that's not important. Right there, they could have had where Ember Moon is angry that Bayley took her thunder. This was my time. I am here. It's my time to finally shine. But no, you had to come in and do what you've always done and have always had for you. This is my time now. But no, now we've got this. No, Bayley feels sympathetic to the chick with the weird theme music and the lots of accessorizing all over.
Right.
I don't know what to feel about Ember Moon. I don't know what she is.
Right.
Okay.
And they haven't done any work in building a character. All we know is that she was mad that her Nintendo Switch got broken by Mandy Rose and Sonya Deville.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then you get a championship match after that. It's like one doesn't go with the other. And it's just it was just bad. And number one, I might be in the minority here. I don't think I am, actually. I think the Bayley character is past the point of rehabilitation. I think that so much damage was done to this character. Number one, they made her a perennial loser for about a year.
Yeah.
And then they teamed her up with Sasha Banks, and then they were going to feud, and then they stopped. And they were going to feud, they were going to stop. And they were going to feud, they were going to stop. The interest level in Bayley is just base zero, pretty much, I think, in general. And then you have her on SmackDown. They're booking her like she's this big deal and just doling out championship opportunities to those who are, needing it, like Ember Moon, those who earned it, maybe. And it's just nobody wants to see that kind of match. There needs to be some story to it. There was zero story. I put in my thoughts that they were hurt by the crowd being dead following the Goldberg thing. There was 2 matches in a row that they were just dead.
Yeah.
But I also put the caveat, to be fair, the way this match was laid out, even if it wasn't even if it wasn't following Goldberg, it was never going to be good.
No.
This was
No.
never going to be a good match.
It doesn't matter what the placement was.
You could have done, you could have put it anywhere.
You could have had it lead off, and it wouldn't have done anything. Okay.
It would have killed the pay-per-view.
It would have. Man, I'm going to make a bold hot take here. Well, not a hot take, but it's more like a metaphorical statement. I thought Dean Ambrose left the WWE. Holy shit. Dean Ambrose as champion going to SmackDown and his first title defense against Dolph Ziggler.
Oh, God. I was there.
Reeks of that.
I was there.
Reeks of it. Bayley as Dean Ambrose right now, stale character, stale champion, don't know what the heck's going on with her. Dolph Ziggler, even more stale than Dolph Ziggler is Ember Moon, and yet once again a face against face, honor fest, respect fest. I give you the opportunity. No, I'm better than you. No, you're but yeah, F this. Okay.
Yeah, it was sloppy. It sucked. I was just so happy. I was very, very. I actually clapped when the belly to belly was hit off the top rope because I knew it was over. I was just like, thank God, just let's move on from this thing. This is bad.
Yeah, just finish it. Let's finish it.
This was a pre-show match. This
absolutely
had no business being on the show.
Yeah, I was about to. Okay, I'll go and put it to you. The 3 matches that were on the pre-show, what would have you put in this match's place?
I would have actually put Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross versus the Iconics.
Oh yeah, the tag match. Yeah.
Whoa. Oh, because I said Alexa, and my Alexa picked it up.
Oh.
Oh my God, this thing is so scary. I just got an Amazon thing. I don't even want to say the name now, and it's just shouting at me. Did you hear that?
No, but I'm going to take Victoria's word for it that it did.
Oh my God, that scared the crap out of me.
Everyone, anyway, just so you know, everyone, if you have a podcast of your own and you're going to talk wrestling, make sure to turn off your Amazon Echo when talking about Miss Bliss.
Yeah, Little Miss Bliss. Okay, I would have absolutely put that on the main show, even though that match was also bad because the Iconics are they're a great act. They're funny, but goddamn, they are not ready for the prime time. Well, I shouldn't say they aren't. It's really Billie Kay that is just so abysmal.
Come on.
Nikki Cross pulled her off the apron, and she couldn't even take that bump right. Just taking a step off the apron, she couldn't do that. Brutal. At least you had defined roles with Bliss and Cross and the Iconics. Like, there's something there, like Nikki Cross is the affable, lucky, happy, goody two, whatever, like that's the thing, like at least there's something there. There's a story. There was no story here.
Well, don't get me wrong. I mean, yeah, I love the Iconics. They're so funny. It's like dueling Vicky Guerreros, in my opinion. And what Billie Kay lacks for in-ring competency, she makes up with yelling, with being active. Okay, right. She is way more active than probably half of the female roster that gets the crowd involved. Okay, her screaming and yelling, that's all she needs to do. She could slip on a rogue M&M on the floor outside and twist her ankle. Don't care. She's getting everyone riled up. But Alexa Bliss, Nikki Cross, I'm totally digging this cheerleader with the awkward friend is what this is. Okay. Right. It is the prom queen with the vice president of the chess club. All right. It's that kind of dynamic I'm really liking. But on top of that, I'm kind of waiting for both of them to show up to SmackDown and go to Bayley and go, hey, look what we got. F you. That ain't happening. Yeah.
Please, God, no. Please.
No, that ain't happening. No, nothing involving Bayley, okay? But I will absolutely, Bliss and Cross as tag champs. I'm totally for it right now. Seems a heck of a lot better than the Kabuki Warriors.
Absolutely. Or I would have even replaced the Kabuki Warriors. I mean, the Iconics with the Kabuki Warriors and just put that on the main show instead of Billy and Ember Moon.
Well, yeah.
Anything, like if you're going to take off a women's match, you should replace it with another one. That's the one I would do.
Yes.
But this was a hole in the card, big time hole in the card.
Mm-hmm.
Let's take a look at this submission match since we're talking about the women's matches anyway.
Yeah, let's talk about the women.
Yeah. Becky Lynch and Natalya. You know what? I'm not a big Natalya fan. I'm just gonna put it out there. I don't think that should come as a surprise to anybody.
That's a stretch of a statement.
Yeah, I think that she's ridiculously overrated. I find that anytime she gets any chance to shine, she tries to turn into like Bret Hart on steroids and wants to do every single technical move that the opponent doesn't know how to do, which makes them a bad base for her. And then they just kind of fumble through things. That happened a lot on Monday when she was trying to show off. And I said on Post Raw, I hope she figures it out for Sunday, because she's going to be in Toronto, which she's labeling as her hometown. And this has a recipe for disaster written all over. It's like anytime Sasha Banks gets a big match, she tries to do 15 suicide dives and break her back in half. Natalya is going to try to do too much, and it's going to screw up the match big time.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say, I'm pleasantly surprised to see that she did figure it out. There wasn't too much in terms of like ridiculous artsy fartsy technical wrestling stuff, and it was a good match. It was a really good way to open the show. Becky Lynch had good reactions. Natalya had a decent reaction. It was hard hitting. The submissions were pretty cool. I like the sharpshooter in the turnbuckles. I like them doing their submissions to each other, and I like Becky Lynch just kind of getting her slipping out of banana peel, torquing that arm really good, and getting the tap out at the end. I thought it was very successful, and probably the best match that Becky Lynch has had since WrestleMania, since winning the titles at WrestleMania.
Oh sure. I'm going to be brutally honest. I have to watch this match because I got back from work after this match ended, so I haven't really watched it all, so I'm not going to give my opinions on something, of course, that I haven't watched. But I am going to say, I'm glad you're saying all this, because now I really do want to see this, because my opinions of Natalya have been along the lines of, I thought Beth Phoenix retired. She trying to insert anything that she saw from old videotapes into every match she has, and praying that everyone else surrounding her, it was from the same environment that she is. Okay. And fortunately, Becky Lynch is probably one of the few that would actually be able to comprehend and understand what she is trying to do in the ring. Okay. Wow, I could actually really ask a horrible question here, but who's better at doing such a thing? Natalya wanting to do stuff in the ring that no one else knows how to do, or Sasha Banks trying to do stuff in the ring that no one else knows how to do?
Well, Natalya's not going to kill you. She's just going to make the match look bad. Sasha Banks will hurt you or herself.
That's right. So it's because Natalya is trying to actually build something within the ring and the story that they're trying to tell, not just look cool. Yeah,
exactly.
So exactly. I'm sorry, everyone, to disappoint you. Sasha Banks did not show up on this pay-per-view, and better get used to that feeling. Sorry.
Yeah,
I want to get into, everyone was saying it. Everyone's, at least everyone, I mean James and Jamel. James is in the chat room now. And everyone was saying it in the beginning of the show when everyone was going, wee! I'm talking about Ricochet and AJ Styles. Yeah, let me just bring up the one of Ricochet on one leg, wee! Going against, over AJ Styles, doing your wee count, wee! Okay.
Can I do one?
Yeah,
I don't even know if I can do it. But
no, you can try it.
Whee!
There you go. You got it. You got the falsetto. That's all you got to do. Okay. AJ Styles Ricochet part 3 or 4. I don't know how many times this
No,
has
it's
happened.
Canada. You can say trois.
Okay, it's trois? Okay.
No, actually, I think it's like 4 or 5.
Yeah, it's a lot right now because it's the same damn match they had at the last pay-per-view where the OC Orange County was on ringside for this match. Different spots, working the leg of Ricochet. He can hop on one leg and do stuff. I especially found a lot of humor in him. He couldn't suplex AJ Styles in one spot, but then miraculously a spot and a half later, he can do a Northern Lights suplex and then float over to do another suplex on top of that. So once again, everyone is fucking Wolverine.
Right.
But did this match serve its purpose? And what was that purpose?
I don't know if it did.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it wasn't like the OC got involved so much that it's like, you know, that like AJ Styles still caught him, you know, with a Phoenix, you know, trying a Phoenix Splash into a perfect Styles clash. Like the OC never laid a hand on him. He in fact attacked them. They tried to interfere. I guess you could say, oh, it's a distraction thing, but you know, like if you're gonna do the OC, they should have like ganged up on him outside while AJ's distracting the referee or something like that. Like, you know, if you're trying to build them up as like this like big intimidating super group, you want to do that instead of just making Gallows and Anderson basically what Gallows and Anderson were before the OC, but with makeup. You know, it's like just these two guys that have that, you know, Gallows is big, Anderson's supposed to be the wrestler, and they just both get trashed in every match. And it's like I haven't seen them really do anything where it's like they are really a huge asset to AJ yet. Other than just beating somebody up after a match.
Yeah. And I guess, is it weird enough to say that this is the only faction that's going on in the WWE main roster right now?
Yeah.
It is the only faction that's happening right now. Now, not
on the main roster, yeah.
On the main roster. So, no, don't expect them to be a super group or anything like that. All of them have gold right now. Okay? Now, granted, what are we doing with Gallows and Anderson? I don't know. Are we propping them up for Viking Raiders? Are we propping them up for potential Street Profits 3 months down the line? Who the heck knows? Okay? What are we doing with AJ Styles? Or what's his next opponent going to be? I've already said I'm believing we're going to see a Braun Strowman come in and try to wreak havoc.
It's possible. I would like to see AJ versus Cesaro, but I mean, heel and heel right now, it's not going to really work out.
No.
You know what? I like AJ Styles. The appealing part of AJ Styles is the fact that, you know, he's supposedly this guy who can have a great match with anybody. Right. Well, he just had basically 4 or 5 matches with Ricochet, and not a single one of them were anything to write home about.
No.
I'd like to see him have like a match like he had against Seth Rollins in April. You know, Rollins' first title defense. You know, like something where AJ Styles can actually, like, you know, sink his teeth into. Like the way they booked this match tonight, you would think, like, with these two kind of comparable styles, you know, AJ Styles was kind of like Ricochet early in his career. Now he's like the grizzled veteran. You know, but who can still go in a big way. Like you would think that they would have like this, like really not, you know, barn burner of a match. And instead AJ spends half the time working on the legs. So you can't really do all the cool aerial moves, which is Ricochet's only appeal. Like to me, it just didn't work out. I didn't like the way they laid out the match. I mean, it's smart, I guess, like the one time they use logic. Yeah. If you have a guy who flies around a lot, you want to work on the leg. Yeah. Of course, now they employ logic for like these kind of matches, but I don't know. It never clicked for me. Never got out of first gear. It was just disappointing. And they were also put in the unenviable position of following Goldberg, Dolph Ziggler. So that hurt the match too. Like, you know, like you like if you're gonna have a match follow up that you want to be taken seriously, you want to try to make it as good as you can possibly make it. This one just never got there.
No. Match that never got there. Did Owens Shane McMahon get there?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. For me, it did. For me, it did because we had just gone through Styles and Ricochet and Bayley and Ember Moon, and they were 2 dud matches and in front of a dead crowd. Kevin Owens comes out, even though he's from Montreal. he's Canada, you're just Canadian, they love you.
It's just a big town. It's just Canada's just a big town.
Exactly.
And Montreal, Toronto, Quebec, Winnipeg, Vancouver, they're all just houses in this town. Okay?
They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all the same. They're all the same. Everything's
even though they
the
span
same.
Even though they span the entire distance of the continental United States, they're all the same.
Yeah, it's all the same.
This brought the crowd back. They brought out the guest enforcer with Elias. I actually thought they were going to do Drew McIntyre. I'm actually glad they did.
Yeah, I'm glad they didn't either. Yeah.
And they brought the crowd back. You're not gonna. Shane McMahon's in the match, so you know what kind of match it's going to be. It's just going to be stunts and stuff happening and smoke and mirrors to get you through it.
Yeah.
And it was successful, like you think, Owen's career is on the line, essentially. So you send out Elias, and it's like, oh, the odds are stacked against him. And then he, fights back. They do a couple big spots, a couple good things, where he hits the Swanton bomb and then the frog splash, and then you think it's over. And of course, if I wasn't into the match, I'd be like, oh, they're going to pull the referee out right now. But I was so into it. I was like, oh my God, he's got him right here. And then he pulls the referee. I was like, oh, they pulled me into it.
Yes. Yes.
That's what I look for. That when I watch a show, I want to get out of the analytical mind and just be pulled into a show and into a match. And this one pulled me in. It was a lot of fun. And I thought it was, I thought Owens looked like a star tonight.
I got to tell you, no, that was the perfect spot to talk about in there is the senton going into the frog splash. I was roped in. I was like, oh, wow, that looks like a good finish. Yep, here it is. And then suddenly you see the referee just vanishing out of thin air. And that's where you go, damn it, that's where you realize WWE's production and camera work is top notch.
The best.
The best. You ain't going to find that crap on AEW, okay? They have
I've watched enough to know.
Yeah, they've got perfect camera placement, perfect timing, perfect everything on that match. Completely roped me in. Great finish to the match. I'm so glad we didn't get a run-in. I'm glad it was all on Kevin Owens. I'm glad it made him definitely look like a stud.
Right. And it made him look like a badass too. It's not like, I like the low blow to McMahon before the stunner. Yes. I like that because it's like, fuck you, dude. You're trying to take my career away from me. Here, take get kicked in the balls and get fucked. I don't care. Yeah. See what happens. And then you hit him with a stunner. Like, that's totally fine. I was online. I saw some people were like, oh, he hit him with a low blow. Is that really what a face does? It's like, he's not a face. He's a tweener. He's like, the gray area guy.
Are we really going to have this discussion as probably the same guy who loved the NXT TakeOver show and saw Mia Yim fish hooking, putting thumbs in eyeballs, and doing everything she could, yanking hair left and right? Okay, so if we're going to be talking about moves that constitute if someone's a babyface or a heel, welcome to 2019. Okay, right. There ain't no such thing. Everyone uses a closed fist now. Ask John Cena. So, all right, so I think we covered everything except...
Well, there's two.
Well, there's
Goldberg and Ziggler.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that's right. There's two. Go ahead and do that one. The Goldberg, Ziggler, the Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yes. Well, this was way more than just Wham Bam, thank you, ma'am. Yes. On the surface, it looks like that. I thought when they did when they did Goldberg, Undertaker, and like how bad Goldberg looked in that match, I was like, that's too bad, because when I watched him on that SmackDown leading up to it, I was like, God, like Goldberg is fucking awesome. And he's in good shape. He's got, he's still got star power. People, he's like the last of like those big attitude era stars that you can dust off and kind of march out there every now and then. And I thought when he had that abysmal match against The Undertaker, I was like, well, there goes that. That's just one less legend that they have to, reach into the barrel and grab, when they need to pop a rating or have a special attraction on a pay-per-view. This match, Yeah, like Dolph Ziggler was fucking awesome in this match.
Yeah.
He like I love how they started off with super kick, and like you just weren't expecting that. You thought it was going to be spear and jackhammer. No, at least Ziggler got some offense in there, and then he absolutely annihilated him with a spear.
Yeah.
Jackhammer, that's the end. Ziggler then grabs the microphone and says, "You're a little baby. You hit like a little bitch. You're not man enough to fight me." Goldberg goes back, and Ziggler's struggling to get up, and he's still talking shit, and Goldberg kills him with another spear. Goldberg celebrates, goes to the back, and Ziggler gets on the microphone again, says, "Anybody can get lucky twice. You don't have the balls to face me man to man. You never face me man to man. That's why you're a laughing stock in this business, and I'm the best." So Goldberg comes out, picks Ziggler up, looks at him, and says, "Oh, fuck it, I'm done." And then he turns around, hits the spear again, and crushes him. 3 spears. The roof was blowing off this place. This entire thing was to rehabilitate Bill Goldberg so they can use him again and bring that shine back to him that he had before Super Showdown in South Dakota.
Yes. Yeah.
And as a rehab project, this was a complete and total home run. This was just, I was so entertained. I was laughing. I actually almost had tears coming out of my eyes. I was laughing so hard when Ziggler was just being the delusional dickhead heel. This is probably the pinnacle of anything Dolph Ziggler's ever done in this company. This is like, because that's always the thing. It's like, oh well, when you have a feud with Dolph Ziggler, that's you die pretty much. Like you're never the same. You can't get that heat back. Dolph Ziggler is the whole reason that Goldberg just got rehabilitated. This might be the best we've ever seen of Dolph Ziggler. Just putting it out there.
There are a lot of gripes that I could say about Dolph Ziggler. Okay, there are lots of things that we can talk about. Yes, it's where your character goes to die. It's where your heat, whatever you had, gets thrown right into the freezer. But one thing everyone needs to admit about Dolph Ziggler, he is the greatest bumper ever to come to the WWE.
Oh, yeah.
He is the best seller of all of them. Okay? I am just glad that he didn't do his stupid little, fly over the top turnbuckle, slam his head on the corner post spot. I'm glad that he didn't get slammed into a barricade, because that's what not that time. This is what we've known him for. And the one thing about him is, I swear, his neck has springs in it to bump like he does. That is where all of his working out is. It's not in the arms or the chest or the legs to make sure that he can lift people and stretch his leg out to do a super kick 25 times in one match. It's so that he can bump like a freaking machine. This guy is fantastic. Yes, if you want a rehab project, you send out Dolph Ziggler. That's who you send out. It's not to legitimize a champion. It's not to legitimize someone going for a title. If you need to rehab somebody, you send in Dolph Ziggler, is what you do. So, yeah, major props to this one. And, of course, they were feeding us the lines on SmackDown with him dropping the Goldberg name in every time when he was doing his spots with The Miz. Oh, perfect. Everyone was looking at it that it was going to be happening, but not this soon. But it had to have been this soon. They had no choice while everyone still remembered what Goldberg had done. So that was the point.
Right, and also there's been enough time that's passed from Super Showdown where you can kind of just be like, okay, fresh start. This was good. They did the same thing with Undertaker at Extreme Rules. They rehabbed him. He's back to where he was before Super Showdown. So it's like South Dakota's totally canceled out.
Yep.
Now we can use the Undertaker and in certain spots, and we can use Goldberg in certain spots again. It's like, I would love the next time we see Goldberg maybe at Survivor Series, Team Raw and Team SmackDown are in a bidding war over who can get Goldberg on their team or something like that. That's how they should be using him. This was, I was crying. I'm not, no hyperbole, no messing around. I was actually laughing with tears in my eyes. It was that good. This was just so much fun.
Oh yeah. And then finally,
yes,
now we can talk about I know it's the part that you and I probably, yes. I was on pins and needles about how the hell are they going to do this? Okay, what's the entrance going to be like? What kind of theatrics are we going to be looking at here? Are we looking at a wham bam thank you ma'am match? Is it going to be a match at all? That is Balor versus the repackaged Bray Wyatt. I will not say the Fiend. I would just say the repackaged. I'm not going to say the new, even though Daniel Bryan has got the new on him for the past 8 months now. But the repackaged Bray Wyatt with, holy crap, that lantern.
Oh, that was great.
Holy crap, that lantern. Okay? Tripping me the hell out with that lantern. But I've just got to take center stage. I was more focused on the entrance is what it has to be. Okay, every Bray Wyatt match, the tone's always set with that entrance.
Yes.
Okay. It would always be the slow music, everyone waving their phones around. He coming in, it's just an eerie feel. Oh man. The very first question I had in my mind was, what are they doing with the music? Okay, because that music is what sets the tone. Okay. And so we get the whole let me in, and we don't know what the heck's going on. And then suddenly we've got a female screaming out the lyrics to Bray Wyatt's old song. The key to the song is almost an octave lower and way more distortion on the guitar, way more sinister, and more. I mean, whatever we had back then with Cape Fear Bray Wyatt, we now have with Pennywise Bray Wyatt, which is way darker, way scarier, set the tone immediately for this match. Holy crap. Roped me in. I'm in. I'm going to buy that song and put it on my phone. Okay.
100%. It was good. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
The entire presentation, even like everything right down even to the nameplate, with his name there, and on the side it's like let me in. Everything was just a special production. This was just, I thought they were going to send him out there like deranged Mr. Rogers, and then like the lights go out and then he, they come back on. He's in the
That's what I was kind of
thinking
too. Yeah. Yeah.
And this was actually better. This was better. And then you can kind of like go back and forth, because I do not think that the Fiend should be on Raw and SmackDown every week.
No.
But I think Bray Wyatt should.
Oh,
There's
absolutely.
no reason why he can't be until he gets pushed to the Fiend. Almost make it kind of like Finn Balor with the Demon, except there's an actual reason for him to have the Fiend. There's like the Demon is just like there's no reason for it, and there's nothing in the other character that says, oh, here's this dark side that's going to come out now.
Yeah.
Like Bray Wyatt, like even with the deranged Mr. Rogers, there are pieces of the Fiend already in there that you can that could come out. You don't know when, but like Finn Balor's like, well, here's the guy sitting in the Playhouse, and now he's the guy that you're supposed to take seriously. Like that doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. No.
Like this is an actual character. Like there's layer upon layer to this character. It's just so good, and it's like I put in my in the recap on my tweet that I put in the recap. This is just genius level character work, because there was a point in this match where he's wearing a mask, so you can't see his face, and it's just a fright mask. Okay, It's just a fright mask. It doesn't emote. It moves with his mouth, I guess, if he moves his jaw.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Yeah.
And somehow he was able to use his eyes and like the angles of the mask right before he was going to hit the Sister Abigail or whatever. He was in the corner and getting ready to pop out, and he looked conflicted. Like, I don't know if I should do this. I don't know if I should do this. And he managed to have this really great facial performance with this mask that doesn't emote.
Yeah, nonverbal. The nonverbal was off the charts.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I was blown away. This is just not character work. You don't see this in You won't see this on regular TV shows. I dare say you would see it in a movie, of course, where you have more time to prepare character work. But this is like damn good character work that would stand on any television show.
Oh yeah. Also, though we shit on him, I got to give props to Finn Balor on this. Just for after the entrance. And
his face made it.
Made it. His face made it. Iced it all. Okay, just cemented the whole thing.
I'll tell you real quick what it reminded me of. Like because we were actually talking about that. I had my brother-in-law here tonight and Victoria, of course. We were talking about it. We're like, Finn's face is fucking awesome right now. It's almost like they didn't go through the entrance with him and like this is just like a totally new experience for him. His face was great. It reminded me of right before I'm going back 20 years now. Okay. Because that's just how far back with wrestling I go. I go even further back, of course, as you do as well, Doug.
Oh yes.
But right when Mick Foley was going to transition from from Mankind to Cactus Jack, he takes the shirt off, he takes the mask off, he takes the shirt off, and Triple H's face made that angle because essentially all the guy did was take off his fucking shirt.
Yeah.
Like he could have no sold it and it would have been like he just took his fucking shirt off. This is stupid. Mm-hmm. But the expression tied it all together, really gave it that extra oomph. And Finn Balor did that tonight, and like you said, that was great.
Yes,
he really really made this angle tonight.
Makes me want to wonder, what are they going to do for Mr. Wyatt tomorrow? If anything, I just see him stroll out just as Bray Wyatt from the Funhouse. Just go like, hey, guys,
yes.
SummerSlam was fantastic, wasn't it? We all had such a great time. And I hope we learned something.
Right.
So that...
Beware the Fiend.
Yeah, beware the Fiend. He's an abomination.
I just love the crowd was chanting "Holy shit" before the match even began.
Yeah.
After the entrances, "Holy shit," and after the match, that was awesome. You never hear that. You hear "This is awesome." I never hear "That was awesome." This was everything about it was great. If I could just nitpick one thing, the only thing I wouldn't have him do is do that. He grabbed him by the head and snapped the neck.
Yeah, I think we need to axe that.
That one, it like that took for a second. I was just like, okay, that's kind of goofy because that should have ended the match. That's a finisher.
Yeah,
he fucking snapped his neck.
And
I saw Steven Seagal do it to like 40 guys in Under Siege.
Yeah,
you die. That's it. That's the finish.
I'm kind of in that. That's an iffy spot to give him, just because if we're so concerned about kids doing this stuff. Let's not have them do that.
That too.
Okay.
And if anything, if you were going to do it on the one-off occasion, it's got to be a special match-ending spot, not a transition. Not a transition.
Yeah.
And because the rumor is, the report is that Finn Balor's taking some time off. So I was like, oh, he's going to snap his neck, and that's going to be the excuse for him taking time off. No, but that was like right in the middle of the match, and then he comes back and hits some drop kicks like he never got his neck snapped. So
that makes sense. That makes sense to do. It's just, if you're just having that as just a regular spot in a match, I do not recommend doing that again. Okay. There are just some things you don't want to do for the sake of other people reenacting. That's my only concern. Okay.
It's very smart.
If we were all mature adults watching this that did not have children, no problem. But, hey, what am I going to do? Hey, that was the whole...
Well, for the next 2 months, I'm going to be that adult.
Yeah, for the next 2 months. Yeah, I was worried about when I go to Clash of Champions next month if the baby was coming out.
No, we got 2 more months.
Okay, good. Okay. All right, we're in the clear so far. Okay, what did everyone think about the show? Here's the poll. 80% gave it a thumbs up, 20% giving it a thumbs down. Why would people give this show a thumbs down?
Santa Claus didn't come this year, Doug.
Apparently so. There was just not enough Canada in the show.
Watch. I bet it's like 20%. There was no Roman Reigns on the show tonight. Normally they hate him. Now he's not on the show. 20% down.
Yeah, who'd have thunk that? Oh, yeah. Let's talk about the names that were not on this show.
Right.
Roman Reigns.
good move to not do that, because initially, from what I read, and and you kind of see it going in that direction. Roman Reigns versus Daniel Bryan didn't happen.
Not yet, anyway.
Aleister Black, Sami Zayn happened on SmackDown. The Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championships happened on Raw. I love that they cleared up space and actually took some matches off this show to either let the story build or give the stories that are and the matches that are already on the card more time to build, rather than kill it with fill-in stuff.
Right.
I thought that every match at least was given a chance. Even Bayley and Ember Moon, which stunk, it at least was given time to either be good or be bad. It's like everybody had time to shine. There was no rushing tonight.
No.
There was no like, oh well, we'll just add an extra hour on so we can fit fucking the Fatal 4-Way for the Women's Championships. No one cares.
Yeah, this pay-per-view could have gone easily up to 11 o'clock or later if they had not made the moves that they did for the television shows. Could easily have gone over the 4 hours, okay? Not a problem for doing that. And thank God that we did get a Fatal 4-Way with a tag championship switching hands on a TV show, because everyone would have known that it happened. If it was on the pre-show, no one would have known at all. It would have just been completely looked over. Okay. Same thing with Sami Zayn, Aleister Black. Thank God that was on TV, because that would have been on the pre-show also. That, or it would have been on the pay-per-view, and no one would have remembered it.
Right. And then you put it in, so you put it on TV, it gets time to breathe. And like that match becomes important on the TV show, but where it would be just another match on the pay-per-view. So just smart booking. Kind of had some, Paul Heyman undertones for me, where you kind of like prioritize matches. Like not everything is a pay-per-view match.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of like get over yourself and prioritize that and understand that, like, yeah, we're not on the pay-per-view and that stinks, but our match is now given time to shine on Monday Night Raw, which in theory has a better audience than a pay-per-view does.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
You can't really complain.
No, not at all. Let me see. You know what? That's going to do it for the show.
Yeah.
We went over everything. We let everyone know what you people thought. You people, I mean that with the highest of regards. But man, what'd you think of the show? Thumbs up or thumbs down, Mike?
Oh, this is a solid thumbs up. This is the first SummerSlam that I have not been to in 4 years. So, and I sat at home, watched it, and I enjoyed it. It was a lot of fun. 3.5 hours.
Dude, ending at 10:30.
Can't complain that. I got Goldberg. I got Trish Stratus having a very good match. We had a big surprise with Seth Rollins winning the title. Thumbs up. Big time.
Yeah, I give it a thumbs up also. And I got, okay, think we can do this. Each one of us is only going to have 1 minute to 1 minute and a half to answer this. So here we go. Mike, what are your quick thoughts on NXT TakeOver? Because people are asking in there. What are your quick thoughts on NXT TakeOver? 90 seconds, go.
Okay, I recapped NXT TakeOver last night. I thought the Cole Gargano match was very good. I saw that some people were negative on it because of they gave him a cage match stipulation, all these weapons, and it hurt it. No, I didn't think so. Actually, I thought they used it smartly. I enjoyed those matches. I enjoyed the trilogy of matches with Gargano and Cole. The undercard for me was a little meh. I love the Street Profits. The Street Profits, Montez Ford has charisma for days, and this guy is going to be a huge star. Velveteen Dream had another good showing. He still needs a little more work, but he's going to be a huge star. Shayna Baszler is going to be a big star. Good show.
Let me see. I think I can do this all real quick with the 5 questions that I posted on the Twitter and the 5 questions I posted on the Facebook, and this is for all the people who didn't see those things earlier today. 5 questions. Here they are. I know that the WWE has performers on their roster because they appreciate a look. I don't know what the fuck Pete Dunne is. Okay. Number 1, he's the ugliest guy I have ever seen.
Okay. He's British.
More power to him. Okay.
That's Britain. Go to Britain.
That's all I got. Io Shirai is the embodiment of everything that is wrong with Japanese wrestlers in the WWE. Facial expressions. They have no idea what facial expressions to use. I can't tell if Io Shirai is frustrated, frightening, hungry, or horny. I don't know what she is. Okay, they gotta pick an emoji and stay with it. Also, oh gosh, trying to think of the other matches. Oh yeah, Mia Yim, Shayna Baszler told a fantastic story in the first 10 minutes until Mia Yim forgot where the hell she was and went completely off the rails. Don't get me wrong,
bad.
the story arc was fantastic. It was right there for the taking, but holy hell, did we just fly off the cliff on that one. Cole Gargano, I certainly hope that this is Gargano's push into a different roster of some kind. Yes, I totally understand it. It's NXT, and this is finisher kickouts heaven. It's what happens. I totally get it. But it's about time that we have someone who weighs more than a tater tot be on a main event on an NXT pay-per-view. It's about time we have someone who looks like they eat to vie for a title at some point. All right. Oh, and by the way, Street Profits and Kyle Fish, Billy O'Reilly, or whoever the hell they are. Bobby Fish is to Undisputed Era what Virgil is to New World Order.
Oh, God.
I have no idea what a Bobby Fish is. He's been injured for well over a year. And yet you've got Nigel McGuinness telling me that he is the embodiment of professional wrestling. Okay. Kyle O'Reilly looks about as threatening to me as a jar of peanut butter when he's an MMA fighter type guy and he's trying to lay into Angelo, big black guy who hates white people, Dawkins. It doesn't work. And I think he does.
Oh, there you go.
Maybe I'm stretching for that. And
I would say probably my favorite moment of the entire takeover was this one little audio clip from Mauro Ranallo while they're in the steel cage. And he just goes, "How are they going to handle with this sinister structure?"
Oh,
he was
God.
just like so over the fucking top. I was like, oh my God, this is like Mauro Ranallo in certain senses hurt the presentation a little bit because it's so it gets to the point where it's like, I get you're really passionate about it. And I know you love the business so much. Like,
Yeah.
you know, you've seen the documentary, you know, you can tell this guy has passion coming out of his ears. But sometimes the passion can transition into goofy, and you don't want to be goofy when it's supposed to be this big, epic, hour-long title match.
No. I think I've said it a lot of times. Mauro Ranallo gets excited over the opening of a bank. Okay? I mean, he just goes over the top on every single thing. I mean, he reminds me of Steve Martin from the movie The Jerk, where he's rejoicing that the new phone book came.
Right.
Okay.
Oh my God, they renovated the town library.
Yeah.
What are you going to do with these sinister books?
Oh my God, they open. The post office is open. The post office.
Mia!
Oh, Mamma Mia. They pick up the mail before 5. I can only take Mauro in so many doses, you know.
I'm good.
And the only reason that everyone just cheers him all the time on the Twitter is because he retweets everybody. So there you go.
That's a good point.
So that's going to do it for this, the recapping of the Summerfest, the SummerSlam of the 2019. I have a gif of the Iconics with Billy Kay dressed up as Maleficent because, damn it, I want to. Hey, yeah, I just like them posing. What can I say? And also, Alexa Bliss dressed up as a
Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear. Oh, that's stupid cute. Okay.
I was like, they missed the big opportunity by having Nikki Cross be Woody.
Oh, if she was dressed up as... Oh.
Or Mr. Potato Head would have been even better. The little things you miss, man.
The little things. It's the little
damn.
things. Mike Tedesco, could you tell everyone where they can catch you on Monday?
You can catch me on the Post-Raw show immediately following Monday Night Raw. And when I say immediately, I mean around 11:15 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Because if you didn't hear, my co-host is pregnant, so we have to take some time to prepare ourselves before we go on the air after watching a 3-hour show.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me there. You can find me on Twitter at Mike Tedesco WV. And you can also find me just posting stories on the Wrestleview main page as the editor-in-chief. That's the stuff that I do. I enjoy that. And you can also find me here on Wrestleview Live whenever there's a big event going on. So with Mr. Doug Lackey or my darling wife, Victoria. So that's me. That's what you can do with me.
Well, then, and what you can do with me is then you can catch me on Wednesday night where I go over the red show that Mike went over on the Mondays and also go over the blue show that happens on the Tuesdays. And I also go over a whole week's worth of headlines that everyone is probably bitching about or opining about and stuff like that all over the interwebs worlds. And also I have the WWE milk carton of people who have not been on TV who are perfectly healthy for the last 3 weeks. No changes yet. And then we do predictions. We do some WrestleMania booking, which is going to be happening on the show Wednesday with after the SummerSlams. What another better time than to break out the WrestleMania whiteboard and try to act like we know what the hell we're talking about when it comes to professional wrestling. And also catch me because I'm going to be downing this entire mini bottle of tequila because I don't know that much about professional wrestling because I lost the locked picks of Roderick Strong was not crowned NXT North American champion, and Kofi Kingston was counted out in his match, but he did not win. I said he would win, but he didn't. And Mike and I had this discussion, and we agree, Mike, that the fans want me to drink. Is that right?
Got to give them what they want, Doug.
All right. Integrity, I have tons of it, and that's going to be substituted by tequila on Wednesday. All right. That's going to do it for the show. Everybody in the chat room, thank you all so much for showing up. I already said a lot of names in there. I'm not going to say them anymore. Hey, show up on Monday. Michael, say your name.
Oh, yeah. I do that. And also just answering question real quick in the chat room.
Yes.
Yes, of course, there will be an all-out show covering that, so we'll definitely be covering that. It'll probably be me and Victoria or something, because we usually do the AEW shows or whatever, or me and Doug, me and Roy, whatever.
That's on the Saturday night, isn't it?
That's a Saturday night, August 31st. Big day of wrestling. You got New Japan Royal Quest, which I think zero people that we talked to are going to watch.
Zero Quest.
We got NXT Takeover Cardiff, and then after that we have All Out.
Oh, Jesus
So that's
Christ.
a big day of wrestling.
Holy crap. Pick and choose.
Ooh.
Maybe. I'm not going to pencil myself in on anything yet. All that I can tell you is that if there's that much wrestling going on and Doug is going to appear on camera, he's going to be loaded. So, because that's the only way you'd be able to enjoy that much wrestling is if you have got some help. And probably going to need it. But anyway.
I will.
Oh, boy. You're a better man than I am. Okay. Hey, again, everyone, thank you all so much for showing up. That was Mike Tedesco. I'm Doug Lackey. Time for me to say the tagline. Know when you're being sold to.